Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Julia, and we post DIY home renovation content and share a real look at what it's like managing rental properties while working full-time jobs. Today's video is a little chaotic because we are officially under the wire. We're trying to finish our guest bedroom before we ring in the new year, and with Christmas travel coming up and basically no room for error. The biggest problem isn't just time, it's the walls. We're testing a shortcut by painting directly over wallpaper that's been hiding years of crumbling plaster, peeling seams, and every flaw you can imagine. So, in this video, I'll walk you through the entire journey, the prep, the mistakes, and what actually worked, including the solution we landed on, a matte paint with a brown and gray undertone that helped disguise texture, smooth visual imperfections, and save us time and money. If you're a DIYer, homeowner, real estate investor, or just love the behind the scenes of stuff you never see on HGTV, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, so you can see we're in our future guest room. We are trying to figure out what to do with the walls. So in our master bedroom, we ended up skim coating because the walls were so rough and so bad because of all the previous wallpapers. In this one, we'd love to do the same, but at the end of the day, we gotta be realistic and we can't spend all our time money on one small room. So the plan is to paint over this wallpaper. Although we're painting over it, we are concerned what it's going to look like, so we're going to experiment with a few different colors, probably something dark to kind of hide how bad the walls are, because although it looks fine, when you go like this, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but you can start to see how wavy and bumpy it is. So if you're ever looking to see how bad a wall truly is, take a flashlight, put it right up against it, and it'll show you every piece of shadows and damage there is. It's a good way, especially when you're spackling or mudding a wall. This is how you kind of check it. So anyways, we're going to try and leave it, cover it up with paint. In the meantime, though, to prep this wall for that paint, we want to make sure that there's nothing flaking off. Because if we paint over something that's flaking off, it's just going to flake later. So all these corners, I'm trying to get like this. Trying to get anything that easily is going to come off. This is glued on pretty good, all in the middle. It's just at the corner, like anywhere that the wallpaper meets the wall somewhere. So we're gonna scrape as much as we can off that's just falling off. Then we'll take an oil-based primer or a wallpaper primer, make sure that covers everything up. Actually, before that, we'll spackle all the stuff we scraped to make it as smooth as possible. Then we'll do the primer. Then we'll probably go with something relatively dark, again, just to hide all those shadows. If we go with something really light, I'm worried that we're going to see more these shadows again, and it's just going to highlight all the problems with the walls. So that's the plan. We'll see what happens in reality, but that's what we're doing.
The time has come to pick up our oil-based paint. We decided to come to Lowe's, which we haven't done for paint in quite a while, but we're going to see, what they have price-wise and go from there.
It's just primer, so we figured no need to go with high-end Sherwin-Williams or anything for paint coverage. Just need a simple oil base.
Exactly, like we're covering wallpaper, who cares? Okay, so whenever you don't know the answer for anything, of course you go to ChatGPT. So this is good coverage, this is better coverage, but how much is better, right? So for double the price, I'm leaning towards this. What do you think?
Well, and it's not just the coverage, it's saying the shellac. We need to do oil or shellac because it's wallpaper. Shellac, they said, is going to adhere better to the wallpaper. They said oil probably would work, would be fine. But because it's such old wallpaper, I'm that extra adhesion might hold the wallpaper together a bit better.
Wow. I'm impressed. All right, so what we're going to do right now is obviously put the primer on the wall, have it dry while we go to dinner, and then we'll come back. And I bought dark paint a while back for the living room that we ended up not using just because there's not enough natural light in there, but I think it'll work perfect in here. So this will dry, we'll put that on the wall just to see if this works, and fingers crossed it does, because we do not want to have to redo all these walls with drywall. I can't believe how much this covered. Oh, there's a nail.
Yeah, you can't even see the nails when you're going through it.
We got back from dinner and decided to use that paint that I mentioned earlier. And when it goes on wet, it looks absolutely stunning and exactly the way we wanted it to look. But unfortunately, when it dries, it just still looks way too dark. And because this is a very shiny finish, it was actually making all of the imperfections in the wall that much worse. So I was intentionally going over the seams of the drywall and over the bumps that eventually Kevin will have to sand and spackle. And it just made it look worse. So after consulting with ChatGPT, we need a more flat finish that is also dark, but the shiny, glossy look is just simply not going to work. At this point, all of the walls are primed, and I'm getting ready for Kevin to start priming all of the windows. So as you can see, these windows are just super old, and to be able to put blue painter's tape on them to make sure paint doesn't get on the windows is going to be extremely difficult. So what we've done in the past with the other rooms is that spray bottle is a solution of vinegar and Dawn soap and some water, and I'll go ahead and take a razor blade and scrape the windows so all of the dirt will come off of them. I'll clean out the corners if there's any excess paint or dirt there. And then afterwards, I'll go ahead with just some Windex and clean the windows. And the reason why I want them to be really clean is what we've been using is this Jocko adhesive that I'll show you in the next clip. But basically, what you do is it's pretty thick, but you paint it on all of the glass and it goes on white. When it's completely dry, it'll dry clear, and that way you can paint. And if you get any paint on the actual window, it won't matter. It'll just peel right off in one really clean, razor blade cut. It's been the absolute best, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
All right, guys, so it's coming down to the wire when we need to leave for the holidays, which means this room is going to need to get finished as soon as possible, but also is going to take a little bit of a pause. So where we are leaving it, for now at least, is I just finished spackling. I vacuumed up the floor, as you can see, and then we also added this Josco masking that we've used before, which is essentially just a paint-on masking. Right now it's clear, which means it's dry. When it goes on, it's like this white film. It's actually pretty cool stuff if you haven't seen it in our other videos, but we are going to use it again as it makes painting the windows, this wood part, a lot easier. Other things that need to get done that I'll do probably tonight is the caulking around the seams. Just because this was wallpaper, you'll start to see like up at the corners, it could use some caulking. Right down at the baseboard, there's a lot of really bad spots that need to be fixed, and that's just due to this wall again. I mean, we're trying to salvage a wall that probably shouldn't be salvaged, to be honest. You can see here, I mean, it's just really bad crumbling. What we're hoping to have again is something that, or a paint that hides a lot of that, as this is just a guest room and we just don't want to spend our energy on it. But that's where we're at. We're going to figure it out. We still have a lot to get done, but we are making progress. So I picked up some primer, oil base, just to hit on some of this old trim. I believe it's lead based, just based off how it looks. It could be old oil, but either way, it's best to cover up either old lead or old oil paint with more oil paint. So I'm gonna do that quickly. It shouldn't be much, just some of the trim, and then it's actually a quick dry, so it shouldn't be too long. Then I'm gonna hit it with the caulking. I feel like I probably should do the caulking first, but the caulking is gonna take a while to dry, so I just wanna get the oil paint or primer on there, and then I will do the caulking. That way tomorrow we can actually get some paint on these walls. I picked up some samples so we can show you guys what that looks like. But first things first, we'll get to painting. You know how it is when it dries, how it always looks different, so we'll see.
So the color we're trying is Adaptive Shade, and we chose to go back to our tried and true Sherwin-Williams. And what we're doing here is to make sure that all of these bumps and grooves that you see on the wall get hidden. And to help with that, we're doing the monochromatic, so all of the moldings and the windowsills will be the same color as the wall. And it's really important when you're trying to cover up bumps and grooves the way we are, is to make sure you use a matte finish.
But one of the reasons we like going to Sherwin-Williams is they first off are everywhere, which is always nice. Depending if our project is somewhere different that we're not used to, we just know what we're getting every time we're there. But additionally, the staff there are always great. If you're not sure what to get, they give you recommendations. You also always get a discount if you have an account with them. So depending on how much paint you're buying, or if you're a contractor, you get contractor pricing. They really try to work with you on the price to make sure you're getting what you need, as well as they won't oversell you, which is kind of a nice thing depending on what you're doing. So yeah, and then we always honestly find just their colors are what we like. Anytime, if you go on to even ChatGPT, I feel like ChatGPT is always recommending Sherwin-Williams colors just naturally. When you go on to different design websites, people are always using Sherwin-Williams. So it's kind of just a go-to with a lot of people. So it works out nice. And we've been happy. We have a Sherwin-Williams in all our rooms, I feel like. So
yeah, our cabinets are Bolton green. And what's our bathroom again?
The bathroom is sea salt. You're right. Yeah, the kitchen cabinets are Bolton green.
And we always use Sherwin-Williams Pure White for trim.
Trim, and then we also in all our rentals typically use what's that? Aged white. Aged white has a nice beige color. It's less white than you think. It's more beige than anything, but really nice color.
Yeah, if you remember, that's what we used in our master bedroom.
Another Sherwin-Williams product we're using is this Promar 200. This actually was paint that we planned on using in our bathroom, and when we initially put it on the walls, it just didn't work in there. It was a nice color, so we kept it. We knew we'd use it somewhere in the property, but it just wasn't working in a bathroom, or at least with the trim color we chose. The two colors were clashing. So funny enough, we were kind of experimenting with ideas, remembered we had this, and we're gonna put it on our ceiling here. So I already trimmed it out here. I'm gonna roll it in a second, but this is the Promar 200 Zero VOC. So from what I understand, I think this is their slightly more cost-effective option. The Zero VOC just means you won't smell anything, or at least very minimal. The color we're using is Greek Villa. So it's kind of like this off-white color. It's more white than not, but just like slightly aged look to it. So we'll show you what it looks like. We were afraid if we went with the pure white, it would just be almost too crisp, like this older style color, the monochromatic, and then you just have this crisp white ceiling. I just didn't think it was gonna go. So that's where this color hopefully will fix that problem. So we'll find out. All right, let's see. I already shook this up. Yeah, so you can see it's mostly white. It's just like a little off-white there. Nice.
Beautiful.
So we'll roll this out. Finally have paint on the walls and on the windows, so now we get the most satisfying part, which is peeling off the Josco masking. So for this, we just want to take a blade, go around each edge with a fair amount of pressure, making sure we get right into the corners. Hopefully we put on a decent amount. All right, and then usually I just score the middle, pop up a little bit of the masking peel, and then just peel it. Usually try to get it, I mean, not everything's gonna come off right away, but let's see, get a majority of it to come off. Just like peeling paint, tape off. And then for the remainder, there is still masking peel. It's not on there that strong, but I just take a blade and kind of scrape it right off, and it comes off very easily. Just like that, we got a perfectly painted window.
All right, you guys, so it wouldn't be New Year's Eve if Kevin and I weren't doing something real estate related. I remember 2 years ago in one of our units in one of our two family homes, we had tenants moving in on New Year's Day, and we were still finishing renovating, scrubbing, making sure the place was completely spotless. And then immediately that morning, we had to get right back to it on New Year's Day to finish up the cleaning. It was just so much work. So yeah, it's just kind of funny to reflect and think back to, you know, how far we've come, but also how much is still the same. So what I'm doing now, making sure Wags doesn't step into the primer, but I'm going to continue to prime the closet doors. That way they can dry hopefully tonight, and then we can get the paint on them. And then the last thing that we have to do once these are dry and of course put back into their place is get a ceiling fan for in here. So hopefully we have time today to head over to either Home Depot or Lowe's and just get like your typical Hunter Douglas ceiling fan. And yeah, right, Wags? So I'm gonna get to it. So it took me about 50 minutes to finish painting these doors. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm kind of embarrassed. I felt like it would take me less time, but Kevin gave me specific instructions. Use the roll brush whenever I could, so that was along these flat surfaces. Use the brush to get into all these corners, which I think I did pretty well. He also specifically said no drip marks, which you can see here. So I have to smooth those out quickly before he gets off his call, and to not make a mess. And I think I did that. Let me show you. So yeah, not too bad. Ugh, and I also messed up at the bottom there. You can still see the brown, but I think I gave him enough to work with.
All right, guys, so painting the walls worked. The Sherwin-Williams color really hides everything. You can see that. I mean, the walls look perfect in this color. I know it's relatively low light. I mean, it's not too bad, it's just daylight. But when you get up close, you'll see a little bit maybe, but I mean, it's nothing compared to what it was. As a reminder, these are 200-year-old walls that it's just crumbling underneath, which maybe we should have replaced, but I think at this point we just wanted to put a little Band-Aid on it for now. So this was unbelievable, this job. I'm really happy we went this path instead of having to drywall, re-spackle, which definitely has its moments. We did that in the other room and I love it there too. But since this is just gonna be a guest room and we're never gonna spend any time in here realistically, this was definitely the right move. This green and this color from Sherwin-Williams we'll link below in case anyone else wants to do it. It's definitely dark historic, but it's probably the best for hiding any wall damage if you have the similar situation.
Final stretch. Okay, so we are on our way to, where are we going?
Lowe's first.
We're gonna go to Lowe's first, try to find a ceiling fan, and then we're basically done with the room. All that's left is the ceiling fan and putting those closet doors back on the hinges. So we're really close. Yeah, fight to get this done before the end of the year. So we have a few options here. There's one where you could see where the Edison lights are, and that would be good because it's a little more ambient, and with that type of lighting, it would obviously not cause a lot of light in the room, but because it is a guest bedroom and we still want it to be functional, that's not the direction that we're going to go. Another thing that we can't do is, let's pick on maybe this light here. Because it's that bright white, it's gonna cast a lot of shadows. And fun fact, as we're learning, as we're reading all these, you can't change the lights on all of the fans that are available. So something that we want to do is something like this, where you can see that the light is around that glass that's what's that word? Ghosted or snow, whatever that term is, frosted, and it's going to diffuse the light a little bit more, which is what we're looking for. And the last thing that we're looking for is something in the 40 inches, just for the size of the room. So we're going to try to find a black fan that has the frosted lights. All right, so let me show you something here. So this is the fan that we like. And you can see 44-inch small room, but what it doesn't have is this, where you're able to adjust the lights, and we want that more ambient kind of light. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do this one. Wags, which one do you like?
Alright, so we're back in the car. I want to go to Home Depot to see what they have because we are really close, but getting the right size, the right color, the right direction of light, and then the right color of light, meaning not so white and a little more of that yellowish hue, was difficult. We got close, but not exact. So Home Depot's down the road, so we figured we'd just swing down there and see what we find.
So this is where Kevin and I are extremely different people. They all look the same to me. Whereas with Kevin, he's super detail oriented. So he's like, we got to go to Home Depot. We have to see what else is there. And it's like that he is an engineer, but that engineering brain, to me, a black van's a black van. I would have just gone with the cheapest. And yeah, that's just my opinion. But I should add, this is why I think we work really well together for a lot of reasons. But in these instances, having that different perspective also helps us make better decisions. Rare sighting of a limo at Lowe's.
It's us. It's for us.
Oh, let's say that again.
Nothing says romance like Lowe's.
So the trouble that we're having is we want a 40-something inch fan that also allows you to change the color of the light.
This one does.
Which one?
It's a little more expensive, a 44-inch. It's all black and adjusts the light.
Okay, as I said that, I think Kevin finally found one after we've done this
more
back and
expensive
forth
than I
so many
wanted,
times. I personally don't want to spend $145 on a fan, but
Yeah. All right, so we have a $80 option that's on sale. This. And then we have a $145 option. And the biggest difference I'm seeing between the two is this one allows us to change the color light. So if we wanted to go with that softer white, the 2700K, we could do that versus that one is 3000K, which you can see if you zoom in here. You can see the difference. One's more yellow, one's a little whiter. But they're both still on the warm light as opposed to that cool light. They're in that realm. It's just slightly different. So I guess the question is $65 worth that slightly warmer light? I'm kind of leaning towards no.
I'm gonna go no, but
Especially since it's a guest room.
yeah, and also I'm thinking this is fogged enough, so I'm gonna hedge our bets here. I say we go with this one.
All right, let's do it. So close.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna wrap the video here. I'll just show you. Move it, Wags. We have the bed in here now. The closet doors are up, and of course, the last thing we needed to do was put up this door, and it frickin' broke. It
looks like it was previously broken, and the previous owner just taped the piece of wood on there. So
yeah,
I'll get some wood glue and see if we can salvage it back together, but really frustrating right at the end. But
oh, and there's the fan. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, but oh well.